Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here, brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. Taking to go out today, see what things came out today, see what things are on sale. Today though, new release-wise, there's actually quite a few new things coming out. It's actually a really big release week. I wrote everything down to make sure I didn't forget. Today though, Five Nights at Freddy, that's releasing today. I don't believe there's anything exclusive for that one from what I could tell. The film The Creator, that releases today, as well as The Mandalorian, the complete first and second season. They're releasing steelbooks of that one on Blu-ray and 4K, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Now, when I was looking that one up online, it's funny, it looks like there's a steelbook at Walmart and Best Buy. I can't tell if maybe one of them might be a 4K, one of them might be a Blu-ray steelbook. From what I could tell, though, I was seeing for Best Buy and Walmart. That might have been wrong, though, but that's what I saw on Blu-ray.com. And the other one releasing today was Dumb Money. There's also a couple other titles coming out on 4K today for the first time, some catalog titles today as well. Also, though, at the end of this video is going to be a whole bunch of brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews, so definitely stay tuned for those at the end of this video as well. I also want to let you guys know some really exciting news, too. The film that I directed, that I directed with Lauren Francesca, Woods Witch, is now available to pre-order for only $9.99. At least at the moment, it's $9.99 on Amazon.com. So I'm going to have a link below where you guys can go to order that one. And really so excited for you guys to see that one and hear what you guys think and everything. So really cool. It's on Amazon.com right now. But anyway, though, guys, let's get going and see what we can find today. Into Target we go. And you guys like when I kind of show going in here and seeing, what's here in the front and the sort of $5, $3 spot right here. They're out front selling something. It's like normally the guys out there like selling those chocolate bars, but it's like kids out there selling something. I don't know what. There's something outside. Always looking here though. They have like interesting stuff in here. It's all like $3 and like $2, $5 kind of things in here. Sort of interesting, kind of weird, like just sort of like what you'd say is tchotchke kind of items in here. And these things are kind of funny. They're like, you can plug this into your phone and use it as like a speaker, kind of like talk through this, and it's like one of those old school kind of clear phones. I always look at this thing. It's kind of cool. I actually had the original one back in the day. But let's see. Let's check here. A lot of things going on in here today. Well, let's check here in the front. This is where the movies used to be. Here's that's now the books. See anything else new over there? Nothing major new. Everyone's kind of coming this way, but let's head over to the section though, and fingers crossed, hopefully they have some of this stuff put out over there today, because it can be hit or miss with Targets with having the movies put out lately, more so than any of the other stores I've noticed. And sometimes it takes them a couple weeks for them to actually have them out, but we shall see though. Like I said, fingers crossed, hopefully they're out today though. Well, as always, at least in the last couple weeks in there, at least a month or so, nothing changed out. They did have the spots, though, for everything. So this time around, though, they didn't have nothing changed, like where there was nothing, where you knew what was going to go there. They actually had the spots put in, but nothing was put out. But we're going to head over to Walmart, and fingers crossed, hopefully they have everything out, though, but we shall see. Into Walmart we go. Well, taking a peek, and it looks like in here, unlike a Target, I'm seeing everything out in here, which is really good. So it looks like everything is out here. They have like the banner for, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem here. And I see the Blu-ray. I don't see any steelbooks for that one. I know there was, like I said, I thought I saw something steelbook-wise, but the Blu-ray is $24.96. The DVD is $19.96. Then they have Five Nights at Freddy's here. I don't see the 4K, though. The Blu-ray is $22.96, and then the DVD is $17.96 for that one. And then the Creator, it's funny, like a lot of them I don't see the 4Ks today, but the Creator, that one's $24.96 for the Blu-ray, $19.96 for the DVD. And that was one of the other ones that came out today, the Weird Al movie, the Al Yankovic story. They have the DVD for that one for $12.96. And then they have the Mandalorian here, the steelbooks here, and these are the it looks like these are the Blu-ray steelbooks for these ones, but there are 4K versions as well. These ones are each $39.96. And then GameStop story, that was the other one today. Sorry, Dumb Money, the GameStop story, that's $22.96 for the Blu-ray, $19.96 for the DVD. And then other than that, though, in here seems to be all the same things. Taking a look over here, don't see anything new. Let's take a look, though, in here, though. See anything else? Oh, I see a couple things mixed in here. Oh yeah, there's a couple things. A lot of these I gotta look these up, like this Monster NATO one, the Loch Ness Horror, this one with Eric Roberts, Mandalorian, Landon, The Frenzy, Bad Things. This one with Molly Ringwald movie, Monsters of California. That's that movie that Tom DeLonge directed. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's a Blu-ray of that one available or not. I have to look that up. Kind of like a slightly cheap cover on it though. It's like it's sort of cheap cover looking for that one. And then also though, the Showdown at the Grand, that one released today as well. That's $12.96 today as well. That one has my friend Mike Ferguson in the movie, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. I actually got a copy of that one to review today, but I'm gonna look up some of these ones and see if there's a Blu-ray of both of these, because I might get these two. Yeah, so in there though, I ended up getting that Monsters of California. Like I was saying, it's kind of a cheesy cover a little bit. Like, it's more than it's like the Photoshop, the way it's kind of cut out and stuff is just not the greatest. But I looked interesting though from the trailer, and Tom DeLonge, from Blink-182 directed it. So I'm interested in seeing it. It's like an alien film. And this one looked interesting as well, this Bad Things one with Molly Ringwald. And both of these ones look like there's only DVDs from what I could tell. Like this Monsters of California on Amazon, it shows as a Blu-ray, but then it shows as not available, like you can't order it or anything like that. So maybe it got delayed or canceled or something like that. But at least as of now, it doesn't seem available though. But now I'm gonna head to probably a second Walmart, and I probably will go to another Target as well at the end, just to see if they had anything out, since the first one had nothing whatsoever. Into the second Walmart we go. Well, in here though, in this other Walmart location, this one, the stuff isn't locked up and you can see the stuff out, but like this one, they put random like the spider thing around it. It's really weird. This one's locked and this one's like that, but they don't have out any of the stuff that came out this week. Like I said, the only advantage is you can look at the back of them so you can see these, but other than that, in the actual front here, they don't have anything new. They have all the spots for it, but of course everything is empty though. Into Best Buy we go. Okay, so we're gonna take a look and see, and I'm noticing like a lot of things missing here, like Young Guns, WandaVision. Oh, this is all like older things like Oppenheimer. Let's see though, is there any of this stuff out today in here? Like I see like Kill Room, these were all last Tuesday. Is this one of those days when they like have nothing new put out in here whatsoever? It seems like it. Yeah, this is like the Tuesday that they forgot. It's like every so often that happens, and it's like for some reason in here they totally forgot the DVDs and Blu-rays, and there's nothing whatsoever changed out at all. I don't know why, but it's one of those days. Yeah, it was sort of one of those I think, 0 F's given days in Best Buy in that location today, but we'll probably head over to one other Best Buy, because I'd like to see the stuff out today, because there was some exclusives and stuff, but this Best Buy. Into the second Target we go. We'll see if this one has anything out, put out in the movie section. We shall see though. All right, so we're heading back and seeing if there's anything out in this one. So we'll see over here if they have anything put out. And no, as you guys can see, you see all the spots from Ninja Turtles, Weird Al, all the stuff, but yet nothing here. It's like crazy. Oh. Into the second Best Buy we go. Hopefully this one has this stuff out, and remember that it was Tuesday, but we shall see. Yeah, so luckily enough, they ended up having everything out in there today. They were like blasting like really loud copyrighted music, so couldn't really, talk about it while I was in there though. But they had out the, the Ninja Turtles Steelbook today, the 4K Steelbook, and then they had out a number of the other, releases they had in there today. Like I'm totally blanking on everything that was in there. I wish I could have talked about it live, but it was all out though. They had all the releases and everything though. But also though, let me know in the comments below though what you guys picked up today on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. If you guys ended up picking up anything today. Also let me know anything new that you guys have watched on streaming, or anything new you guys have seen in the theaters lately. I will tell you now, guys, it is crazy busy. There's so many people out like everywhere right now. It's like crazy. But this past weekend I saw a couple of different films. I saw the new film that Darren Lynn Bousman directed, the director of a lot of the Saw films. It stars Tobin Bell, the new one called Cello, which was about this old cursed cello. If you played it, anyone that heard it would die. I like that a lot. I also went to see the new film that Scout Taylor Compton stars in, the film A Creature Was Stirring. That one just went up on VOD today, and luckily enough, it was only playing in 5 theaters and was playing in one near my house, so really like that one a lot. And the other one that I went to see was the film Aline, which is the movie that Anne Hathaway's new film, and basically about this girl that works at a prison that meets Anne Hathaway, who's a therapist at the prison, and they kind of have this friendship that kind of turns. It was really interesting. I really liked that one. It's another film too that's done with that effect to it that made it look like it was like shot in the 70s on film. Like they did the same kind of like that one I think took place in the 60s, but they like the movie The Holdovers, they did that lately, that kind of technique to make it seem older, which I thought was really pretty effective on that one. Oh, it was almost like both of those films felt like they were in the same universe. But also though, like I said, let me know what you guys have thought, if you guys saw any of those ones or what you guys saw this past weekend and anything new that you guys have picked up recently. And also, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, right now you guys can pre-order the DVD on Amazon for only $9.99 of the film that I directed with Lauren Francesca, Woods Witch. So if you guys, pick that one up too, definitely let me know as well. But anyway, guys, now stay tuned for the brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews. And the first one I got here is from Universal, and this is the 4K Ultra HD edition here of The Exorcist Believer. Here, this includes the 4K, the Blu-ray copy, and the digital code for the film here. Now, this one, I actually thought this was a pretty creepy film. Basically, though, this is, has Ellen Burstyn's character, from the original film back. And basically, though, these two girls ended up, they were both friends and in class together and everything. They ended up going away, like, together. And they basically were supposed to have only been gone for a couple hours, and they ended up going missing for 3 days. And essentially, though, when they both come back, there's something really strange and off about them. They seem weird. They start having this kind of weird behavior, start acting really strange, and it kind of gets worse and worse and worse. And basically comes to believe that it has to do with something with possessions. And, Ellen Burstyn's character kind of comes back in here again, and basically it's her trying to kind of look into the whole thing with them and kind of studying them and figuring out what they're going to have to do. Like I said, it's a very creepy film, and it's directed by David Gordon Green, who directed the, the new Halloween series of films. I like David Gordon Green stuff. I also like, the stuff that he did, like, he was behind, like, stuff like Vice Principals and some different kind of, like, comedy things as well that he did with Danny McBride in the past as well. But like I said, I thought this was interesting, though. Not, like, absolutely amazing all around, but I did like this one. But this has on here, though, the making of on here, Ellen and Linda Blair, reunited, Stages of Possession featurette, the opening, editing, and exorcism on this one here as well. The next one here, this is from Universal as well, and this is a really, really fun movie. And this is Five Nights at Freddy. This is the 4K Ultra HD edition, and this has the this is the Night Shift edition. It has the 4K, the Blu-ray, and a digital copy. And this is a really, really fun movie. And now I was not like super familiar with the game. I knew of it. I've seen like the characters and things like that, but I never played the game, so I didn't know a whole lot about like the plot of it or anything like that. I kind of just knew that it took place in like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of place with the robots that kind of went crazy and like went awry and started killing people. That's kind of all I really knew, was that kind of basics for it. And basically, though, this movie is with Josh Hutcherson's character, who needs to get a job, and basically he gets a job working at this kind of crumbling old Chuck E. Cheese type place, where basically in the past all these people had gotten killed there, and the place has been shut down for years, and the owner basically can't let the place go, so people are just hired there to be security guards to kind of watch the place, to make sure people don't break in or mess things up or break things in there, stuff like that. So Josh Hutcherson's character starts working there and slowly starts to realize, though, that something is up with the robots, and the robots might be alive, and there's more to it. And basically, that's all I really want to say. I don't want to spoil stuff, because I feel like probably not everyone knows all the story here, but like I said, I really like this one. I like these kind of like killer robots. The other movie they made recently that was like this was the one with Willy's Wonderland, and then they also had the Banana Splits movie. I like all those ones. I like that kind of like, and I like the Chuck E. Cheese type setting for this too. But this has on here Five Nights at Freddy's from game to big screen, killer animatronics, and Five Nights in 3 Dimensions featurettes. I'm really surprised that they don't put together, honestly, a Five Nights at Freddy kind of like restaurant type thing, like 1 or 2 pop-up things for it. I think it would be kind of cool. The next one here, this is from Universal as well. And it's the brand new 4K Ultra HD edition here. And this is also the 20th anniversary of Love Actually, which is hard to believe this movie is 20 years old now. This is one of those things that, like, I remember this so well when this one first came out and everything. like I said, this has the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the digital code here. And this has on here, feature-wise, Making of Love Actually on here, and reflecting on looking back on the film 20 years later. Has deleted scenes on here, the music of Love Actually, music videos, commentary tracks on here. So lots of different features on here. Like I said, just wanted you guys to know that this was available if you guys are a fan of the film. The next one here, this is from 20th Century Studios. I always want to say 20th Century Fox. Like, in my brain, I always start thinking that, but it's like, no, it's from 20th Century Studios, and this is the film, the creator. This is from the director who did also directed Rogue One, and this is basically, though, kind of about like it's sort of dealing with like that in the past. There was sort of robots like and they were kind of doing like tasks and stuff like that for the humans, and having like kind of a war and helping with the war. And basically, though, like they ended up kind of going awry and kind of going almost like kind of crazy and like doing their own things. And basically the whole society is starting to kind of crumble. And it's basically, though, kind of, it's hard to explain, but it's like, it's sort of about the robots, though, sort of trying to take over from the planet, from the humans. It's like I said, it's hard to explain. A really interesting but super visual film too. Really like the visuals in this one are incredible, and it really does have. You can tell, though, it was from the director of Rogue One. It has that similar kind of feel to it and everything. It has on here, though. Look back behind the scenes on here, talking about the production. You hear from the actors about the filming experience and learn about the production documentary style approach, and the innovative camera and lighting work on this one, as well, and more on here feature wise. The next one here, this is from Sony, and this is one I think they kind of added to this, like on the bottom, so people know more of what this is. But it's a movie here called Dumb Money, and they kind of added the GameStop story, because I feel like if like you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that this was like dealing with the GameStop thing if you didn't really know by just seeing this. And I feel like it's one of those movies that kind of like went under the radar when it released, and I saw this in theaters, and I kind of like this movie. Like it's different. It's one of those movies that kind of is like, there's some movies where it's almost like you got to be really careful with them, because they're not going to have legs to survive past a few years. And it's kind of one of those movies where it's like about something that was kind of topical at the time. Will it like stick around and people remember it? That's the thing. I've kind of realized that with certain movies, that you got to be careful with like certain topical things and stuff like that, because they can kind of like vanish away. But this one, though, like I thought was really well done. It's basically dealing, though, with the GameStop stock stuff going on. I'm not going to try and explain it or act like I understand any of that stuff, but dealing with like people that are like kind of trying to buy GameStop stock, and they were trying to make it go up, so they made all this money, and then it was like found out. It's hard to explain, but basically this deals with Paul Dano's character, and this is based on the true story about how he started like manipulating, buying things, and making videos promoting the stock and getting people to put money into it and stuff like that. That's basically all about that. And Seth Rogen is in it, and his brother is played by Pete Davidson. That's kind of what it is. It's just like all about them making money and having sort of problems and stuff like that. It has on here, though, some featurettes on here, deleted scenes, and a filmmaker commentary on this one. The next one here, this is from Paramount. And this is the brand new Pet Sematary film, Pet Sematary Bloodlines. And I will say, I'm so glad, though, that Paramount Plus is, they're releasing the Paramount Plus films and, exclusives and stuff like that on physical media. That's one thing I'm really glad about, because I feel like it's like, you always worried about stuff like that when they're on a streaming service, that they may not release a disc, and then that will be it. Because like a lot of everything stays on there forever. So I'm glad that they're embracing that as well, because just because they put a disc out doesn't mean people won't get the streaming service. And I think that's really important. I'm glad that Paramount really understands that too, and is really embracing the disc. Because like some streaming services at the very beginning were not. They are now, though, which is cool. I'm glad to see that happening, Disney. But I'm glad to see that happening. But this one, though, is basically, though, this is a prequel to the original film. So this takes place, was it 1969? So this is before the original one, and basically about the first time that it was sort of someone was brought back from the dead. And basically, though, this deals with this boy who came back from the war, and essentially that he was put into the ground and came back. Basically in the Pet Cemetery, universes, if you get buried in this pet cemetery, a human or an animal, they come back from the dead, but they're different and changed. And this is kind of in this small town about a guy who's getting ready to leave with his girlfriend. They get into an accident and they can't go. And when they have to stay around, they come to realize, though, that there's something weird going on with the one boy who came back from the war, and he started to change and all of this stuff. It's interesting, though. It's one of those movies, though, it definitely goes in a lot of like directions where it's like a lot of sort of almost like side kind of characters almost. And then but I liked it, though. Pam Grier's in this one, David Duchovny, Henry Thomas. There's a really good cast on here. And it also has over 15 minutes of special features, unearthed buried secrets behind the scenes with the cast and crew on this one here. But would definitely recommend you guys check this out, though. Interesting, different kind of take on the whole Pet Cemetery. And like I said, it's not like a remake. It's the kind of first sort of thing when they buried somebody out there and it went wrong. The next one here is from Paramount as well. And this is also from CBS. And this is Star Trek Picard, the complete series here on Blu-ray. Now I believe this is the first time this has been available in like a complete series set. I don't think there was like a DVD set or anything like that when they were all together like this. So this is together all the seasons together, and it also has over 7 hours of special features on here. And I've watched numerous episodes of this series, and it's has Captain Picard back, and played by Sir Patrick Stewart, which is great as well, to have him back in the role again, because he was on Star Trek the Next Generation series. And basically this is his character 14 years after retiring, and kind of him coming back into it again. This has on here story logs, deleted scenes, commentaries, featurettes, and gag reels on here. And here's a look, though, inside here as well at the discs for this one. And the next one here, this one is from Paramount as well. And this is another one that's I believe this is on Paramount. Is this on Paramount Plus, or is this? I think it's on Paramount Plus. And this is Grease: The Rise of the Pink Ladies. This is complete first season here. And this is basically the Pink Ladies characters. And this is kind of like the origins to them, in the Grease universe. And it's kind of about like these four girls that were these outcasts. And basically, though, they ended up becoming popular in the school, and kind of how they did. It's a fun series. I've been watching a couple episodes of this one. It has on here, though, Randall High School Yearbook featurette and Song Stories featurette on this one. And the other one here, this is from Paramount as well, and this is another complete series set here. This has over 2 hours of special features, and this is the Good Fight. And I think I might be wrong, but I feel like there might have been something before this that was like, or there was a spin-off or something like that. I'm thinking there was like either this was the spin-off series, or there was a spin-off of this, something like that. I'm remembering, though. But this has on here, though, deleted and extended scenes, gag reel, and the Good Fight Farewell featurette on here as well. And I'm going to show you guys a look inside here at the discs for this one. You got to be really careful, though, because they can sometimes come out. But here's a look, though, at how the discs are inside for the set here. But like I said, if you guys are a fan of the series, the Good Fight, when they let you guys know that the complete series is available here. And the next one I got here is from Kino, and this one I'm actually going to have my dad talk about this one.
Okay, so you want me to talk about this one. I love Columbo, always loved Columbo. Started out watching Columbo with my dad when I was younger. We used to watch this. Before Columbo, he watched The Fugitive, the old TV show. That was another favorite of his. But Columbo has sort of been in my life forever. If you look at it, it's 1968 to 1977. That's the range that these shows were on. I would have been 11, I guess. I was born in 57, so 11 when this show started. You don't have to watch it in order if you don't want to. They're individual shows. They started out as in this mystery movies. They were part of McCloud, Columbo, a couple of others. That's how they started. They weren't, it wasn't just a show. There was pilots. Like if we look through this box, let's see. So this is seasons 1 through 7. And it's a very nice collection. I mean, it has many of the celebrities on the back of it, so you can kind of get a feel who's in it. A lot of you guys may not know them. A lot of them are older celebrities, but many of them you will. You'll remember them from their characters. Like on the back here, Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins. This was Geppetto. Remember him, Sean? That guy?
Yeah.
Martin Balsam?
It was Landau, isn't it?
Martin Landau.
Yes.
There you go. This one I love. Ruth Gordon. Ruth Gordon, you guys will remember from Harold and Maude, Rosemary's Baby. This guy, Ray Milland, the guy with the X-ray eyes, and any horror fans will know him from the two-headed monster guy with Ray Milland, with Tony Greer. No, the football guy.
Yeah,
remember?
the man with two heads or something?
Yeah, man with two heads. That was a great one.
Yes.
That's a very, very cool one. This is John Cassavetes. John Cassavetes was in Rosemary's Baby and many, many other films. Oddly enough, Columbo, Peter Falk, was really good friends with John Cassavetes. So he had him on. He was very, very loyal to people. People that were his friends, he put in these shows. Let's look at the booklet, because that kind of tells a lot. Episode guide. It's nice because if you look at it, it gives you the specifics. You could always tell the pilot because he had his hair real short. He was really, really young. So that was the very first one. The other thing that's really interesting about Columbo was, and if you don't know some of the actors, it doesn't matter, but was the caliber of the people that involved in making them. So if you look, directed by Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg directed Columbos. A lot of them the teleplays were written by Stephen Baccio. And Stephen Baccio did Hill Street Blues, which was another really popular show early on. So the booklet starring Peter Falk as Lieutenant Columbo. And Lieutenant Columbo was this, he sort of hid in plain sight. He came off as a bumbling police lieutenant that people thought was odd. I guess the closest that you would say would be Monk, the TV show Monk. And I think Monk had a lot more issues with washing his hands and all of those. He wasn't like that, but people didn't fear him, or they thought he didn't know what he was doing. They thought he was just kind of a fool. And he always wore this old, beat up, crappy raincoat. And it was there's one of these where he went to a shelter with a whole bunch of homeless people, and the woman that played the nun that ran the shelter, she said, "Oh, you poor man," she said, "we can do better than that. Come on." She like tried to give him a new coat, and it was like he wasn't a bum. He just loved this raincoat. And the cool thing about the raincoat is, there's the raincoat. It was just really crappy. The raincoat is now in the Smithsonian. And I know that some of my artwork is in some museums and it's very cool and everything like that. But I'm most proud to have work in the Smithsonian because it's in there with Peter Falk's raincoat, which I think is really, really kind of cool. So you can look at these. They all had a kind of a cool title: Suitable for Framing, Lady in Waiting, Blueprint for Murder, Etude in Black. This was starring, and again, if you look through these people, you'll see who a lot of them are. You know, you'll recognize them from other things. John Cassavetes in this was with Blythe Danner, and Blythe Danner is another one. Here again, Stephen Baccio. Look through the people that wrote these. Guest star Dean Stockwell. Guest star Richard Basehart. It really was Leonard Nimoy, the episode with Leonard Nimoy about a doctor that, well, if you're interested, you'll see. But here at Columbo, this was one with an episode where the guy was kind of a chef that he killed someone by way of the cooking. Donald Pleasance from Halloween was in this episode. Jack Cassidy, David Cassidy's father. I mean, Johnny Cash is in an amazing episode here that is one of my favorites. It was called Swan Song. That's an amazing one. I think the other thing about Columbo that's really special is that Columbo was all before here was the Man from U.N.C.L.E. I mean, wasn't the man, I mean, the guy that played the Man from U.N.C.L.E. All of these people, Leslie Nielsen, even if you don't, you like say, well, I don't really like crime dramas. Well, they're not so much that. Each one is a really special little story, and he always kind of gets his man. But he does it, and I've never seen him with a gun. He never carried a gun. And, I remember the episode with Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash said, well, like, why are you up here with me in the dark alone? He was like, I could just kill you. And Columbo was like, well, that would be rude. He said, you and I became friends. And he does. He becomes friends often with the people. And he's like, but I have to do this to you. What you did was wrong, But I don't know. People had to like the guy. You had to like him. He's a very likable, sort of bumbling police lieutenant, but not like the Pink Panther. For people that know that, it's like, oh, is it like that? No, it's not. It's a more serious, but there's always comedy. He always put his friends in the episodes. And I think it's something that just about anybody would enjoy. And if you're a younger person and you want to try and give it like a chance, start with some of the later episodes. Start with some of the ones where you would like, where Columbo goes to college, or some of the ones where you would get some of that feel for more modern stuff. But I've always loved it. His tagline was always, he knew from the very beginning, he could smell out who the murderer was. And usually the way these things are structured, you know who the murderer is too. It's how he goes about catching them. And he would, he would say, he would always like let people think that he was dumbass. And then all of a sudden he'd stick his head in the door. He'd say, just one more thing. And that one more thing was always what nailed the people. And so, no, I you could say, okay, well, you're an old fart and you just are reliving your old fart TV shows. Well, that may be true, but it's the Night Stalker, Kolchak, the Night Stalker. If you like that, I think you would like the Columbos. That one had more of a horror flair, but I think Columbo's wonderful. And he usually has someone helping him, like a sidekick. Sean, the guy that you were in that film with the big thick mustache, was in a couple of them. Richard
Riley.
Richard
yes.
Riley.
Mm-hmm.
He was great in a number of these. So he's somebody too that you'll recognize. You'll be like, oh yeah, that guy. So yeah, I think it's well worth a watch. I love Columbo. I can watch these over and over, and my dream would be to someday find an episode that I've never seen. But sadly, I've seen them all a dozen times. There are no new ones. But absolutely, pick this up. I think it's a great thing.
And the next one I got here is from moviezing.com, and I have a link below where you guys can order this one for the best price. This is also from Neon. This is a movie here called The Royal Hotel. This is a really interesting movie. It's basically, though, about these two girls who are, doing a backpacking trip through Australia. And they're basically, they went there with very little money, and they're pretty much just kind of going around and, like, staying in kind of smaller, kind of cheap, kind of hotels and kind of like Airbnbs and just any kind of place that they can find that they can kind of stay at for cheap. And they're kind of starting to get to the point of running out of money. So they end up getting a job working at this really kind of bad, rundown hotel bar place, which is mainly like a bar where everybody's out there in the town, this small town out in the middle of nowhere, and they're all out there drinking. It's mainly like a bunch of these men there. And it's basically, though, about them working there, and it's kind of like the men and everything there are very, very strange. And it's kind of like, something is going to happen there, and it's going to be something that's probably going to turn into a problem. And it basically does. And it's a really interesting, well-made movie. It has in here, though, too, Hugo Weaving is in it playing the bar owner. And like I said, really great movie. Definitely worth checking out. This one has on here The Making of Royal Hotel on here as well. The next one here, this is also from moviezing.com, and this is from MGM. And this is a Dudley Moore movie that you don't hear about too often called Romantic Comedy. This has Dudley Moore and Mary Steenburgen. And this was from 1983. And like I said, this is one you don't hear about too often. The cover for this one is a little bit like the one with John Belushi going out into the wilderness. That one, I kind of cover a little bit like this one. Basically, though, this is about like Dudley Moore's character, and he's this writer, and he ends up meeting Mary Steenburgen the day that he's getting married. She kind of comes to work for him, kind of as like the assistant to kind of help him with writing and things like that. And they meet right when the day he's getting married, and there's kind of like this chemistry between them. They sort of seem like they like each other, but yet he's getting married, and it's kind of this thing where it goes on for a while of like this years of this stuff of them kind of trying not to get with each other, and then having problems in their own relationships. And so it's a really interesting movie, really fun film. Like I said, it's one that I feel like a lot of people have not seen, and this one here is called Romantic Comedy. The next one here, this is from moviezing.com as well, and this is also from Gravitas Ventures. And this is a movie here called Killer. This is basically, though, this is all about these 10 friends that come to basically quarantine together, and they don't want to stay in their houses and stuff like that, alone. So they all decide, let's all get together and kind of have this party and like kind of quarantine together. And they're figuring like, well, if we're all together, then it's kind of like, we'll be safe and no one's going to get sick because we're all here. We're going to stay here together. But something ends up happening, and they all end up kind of like waking up, tied up in that house, and they're kind of like, with these sort of weird lights behind them. And basically, though, they're being told that they have to, do these certain things or they're going to get killed. It's basically kind of has like sort of like a Saw kind of thing. And it's kind of them kind of figuring out little by little. It kind of flashes back to how they got there and what had happened. It's a really interesting movie. Like I said, this one here is called Killer. The next one here, this is from moviezing.com as well, and this is also from Bridgestone Multimedia Group. It's a movie here called Christmas Time, and this is basically, though, about this guy that like he has this like incredible distaste for Christmas. Like his family's always talking about Christmas, and like he's always like, oh, I wish she'd stop talking about it, and he's like always having all these issues with it. Like I've never seen somebody have so many issues, and he's like real crudge-mudgeon, and every time they bring it up, he doesn't like it. And so basically the family is going to be going to the ski lodge for Christmas, but he's going to one that doesn't have a lot of like Christmassy things, and it's kind of like void of any Christmas stuff. And basically the family switches on him and changes the resort to this one that's like a Christmas themed resort on purpose, and it has Santas and all these type of things. So he's all up in arms about the whole thing, and basically it's kind of about him there and like in the Santa village and kind of trying to change his ways and stuff. It's fun, though. I thought this was actually a really pretty fun movie here. The next ones here, these ones are from Turbine Media, and these are German releases here. The first one here, and these are also both Steelbook releases. The first one here is the film which has Nicholas Hoult, Awkwafina, and Nicolas Cage Renfield here. And this is the Steelbook release here. I'll show you guys, though, how this one is. It's in a slipcover here, and it comes out, and you see, Nicolas Cage here and Nicholas Hoult on the back. It's a really cool Steelbook. Here's a look at the discs inside here for this one. I really like this movie. I thought this was a really fun film, and, it's basically, though, about Nicolas Cage as, you know, a vampire, and his assistant, you know, who is played by Nicholas Hoult. And Nicholas Hoult is really getting tired of being the assistant to, you know, to the vampire, to Nicolas Cage. And he's kind of really wanting to change and, like, stop doing this and everything. It's trying to figure out how he's going to get away from this. I like this movie. It's just really fun. And Nicolas Cage, too, is so good in this role. And it's also kind of funny, too, him doing this, because back, you know, a number of years ago, people found that picture that looked just like Nicolas Cage from, like, the 1800s of this guy. So everyone was kind of saying that he's a vampire. So it's kind of funny that he actually played a vampire in this one. The next one here, this is also from Turbine Media, and this is the Steelbook release here of the film Pearl. And this is also the 4K Ultra HD edition here, which I love this movie. This was the prequel to the film X, and they're also going to be doing Maxine, the new one, with I think that the newest film in the series, which I really love these. And you know, Maya Goth is incredible in this role, and it's basically, though, the prequel, like I said, the prequel to her character and how she kind of went crazy and everything, and kind of what was going on with her on the farm. But great movie here, and it's, like I said, a really great Steelbook here. Here's a look, though, at the back for this one, and here's a look, though, inside at the discs for this one. But really great Steelbook. The other one here, this is from Kino Lorber as well. And this one here, I'm just going to cover this so no one says anything, but this is a movie here called Sinner. And this is from their new line called Kino Cult that they just said. This is the fourth release from the Kino Cult line. And this is a film which is directed by Jess Franco. And this has on here a commentary track by novelist and critic Tim Lucas, interview with actress Jacqueline Laurent, interest with actress Anne Libert, interview with filmmaker Gerard Cancone, interview with Stephen Thrower, the author of The Mysterious Passion, The Dolorous Cinema of Jess Franco, and it includes both English and French language tracks on this one here as well. This next one here, this is from MVD from their Rewind collection. This one here is Mondo, New York. And now this one has on here the brand new 2K HD transfer in the original camera negative on here. It has on here an interview with Joe Coleman, interview with Joey Aris, interview with Shannon Lemaster, interview with the producer on here, photo gallery, soundtrack CD, 18-page booklet in here. It also has a collectible poster. So let me show you guys, though. This has the CD, which I think this is the first time I remember seeing a Rewind collection release have a CD in there, which is really cool. And here's, though, the poster, the double-sided poster for the film here. And then also the booklet with some stills and pictures and stuff like that from the film here as well. Like I said, really cool release. And like I said, cool that it included the soundtrack CD in this one. And the last one here to let you guys know that was available, this is from Unearthed Films. And this is August Underground's Penance. August Underground's Penance. Penance. I'm saying that one totally wrong, but Penance. And if you guys don't know August Underground, these are basically, back in the day, people used to put clips of these up and, like, say that they were real stuff. And I remember, like, some people really did believe it back in the day, early on the internet, some of these things. And basically, they're done to make look like real, like, murders and snuff and stuff like that. That's kind of the way they're done. They are hard watches, though, because they are very, very, very gory and, like, done to be real. So that's, like, the way that they're done. This one has on here on the Blu-ray the new stereo mix, new commentary track on here. On here, it has editing August Underground's Penance interview on here. A bunch of different interviews on here, new teaser outtakes, new extended photo gallery, and the DVD has a stereo mix on here as well. But like I said, just a crazy, crazy film here. Anyway, though, guys, that was all for the review portion of this video. And like I always say, if you guys enjoy these videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching, subscribing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.